actually going to start standing up. And we're going to roll our mats about 3/4 of the way up. And there is a method to my insanity, I promise. So you can roll it to about here, and then just flip it so that you have a little place for your heels to land. And then you're going to take the balls of the feet onto the mat. It's going to feel a little awkward. And bring your legs about hip-width distance apart. And just let your heels fall down into the ground. Now, the first time I learned this, I was like, what is this crazy lady doing? What is she teaching us? You'll see. So, as we stand here, we're going to bring our hands to prayer in front of our heart. And just gently close your eyes. And lift up through the crown of the head and release your tailbone down towards the ground. And spread your collarbones nice and wide. And as you feel this somewhat strange opening to the back of your legs, I'm going to introduce a theme to you for tonight. It's kind of an intermixed theme of regrounding and then finding just a little bit less. By that I mean we're in the middle of summer. We're crazy. We're doing everything that we can. Running around to all the different events, trying to fit all the sunshine in. Sometimes we forget to come back down to earth and come back down to the present moment and hang out with the rest of what's going on around us. And then the other part of that is because we're always trying to move ahead and push forward, try to do just a little bit less. So tonight, as you move through your asanas and as you come into a pose, instead of pushing yourself, see if you can back off just a little bit and see what kind of space opens up when you allow for just a little bit less. And I'll talk you through everything and remind you to come back down to earth and find just a little bit less. And then we're going to take 5 more breaths here, just establishing our breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, keep rooting down into your heels. The front of your shins might start talking to you a little bit. Just breathe through it. Take 2 more breaths. And take 1 more breath. And gently open your eyes. And we'll just take your feet off. And notice how your heels sink down into the ground. Can you feel that? Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Crazy lady's not so crazy after all. And just find a little grounding here in Tadasana. Root down into your feet, spread through your toes. Find all 4 corners of your feet. And as you press down into your feet, lift up through your knees, through your quads. Release the tailbone and let the hips remain neutral. Lift through the chest, through all 4 sides of the torso. And bring your hands to prayer back in front of your heart once again. And keeping in mind the grounding, finding a little space, doing a little less. See if maybe you can find a little intention for yourself tonight. What you want to dedicate your practice to. And then gently open your eyes once again. We're going to unroll our mats. Because that doesn't quite work for the rest of the practice. And if at any point tonight you start to feel a little flighty, and start to feel yourself getting ahead, remember that nice rooting feeling that you felt in the back of your feet and rooting down into the ground. So let's go ahead and come down to the ground. And literally get down into the ground. Bring your hands out in front of you. Finding child's pose. Extended child's pose. So as you bring your hips back, reach your arms forward. Press through your heels and see if you can spread through the collarbones just a little bit more. The heels of your hands. I'm going to turn it around. Just turn it down just a little bit.
Thank you.
start to establish yourself deep down into the floor. And then as you inhale, look up in between your hands. Stay nice and low to the ground. You're going to sliver through like a snake. So just bring your chest all the way through and bring the hands directly under the shoulders. Tops of the feet press down. See if you can get the pinky toe down into the mat. As you inhale, spread through your collarbones, lift the head, and keep the back of your neck nice and soft. So it's almost like you have an orange underneath of your chin. And lift up just a little bit more. And as you exhale, come back to hands and knees, and then find your way back into child's pose. And as you reach your hips back towards your heels, pick your fingers up, pick your hands up, and come up onto your fingertips. And then walk your right hand out about 2 centimeters. And then take your left hand and reach that out. And hold here. And then see if you can just inch your fingers out just a little bit more. So you're starting to create a little bit of length through all 4 sides of your torso. At the same time, be mindful of your shoulders. Make sure they're not creeping up by your ears. Shoulders and ears are not friends. Even though everybody tries to make a relationship out of that, they're not friends. You take 2 more breaths here. Take 1 more breath. On your inhale, look up in between your hands. Once again, stay low to the ground. Sliver through. Hands are going to come underneath of your shoulders. And then we're going to find baby cobra. Once again, press into the tops of the feet. Lift through the chest. Keep your gaze out in front of you without jutting your chin forward. You want to tuck that chin underneath. Good. Press into the tops of the feet just a little bit more. Nice. Take 1 more breath. Breathe in. Exhale. Come back to your hands and knees. And back into child's pose once again. You're going to start to engage the intentional breath just a little bit more. Tapping into your ujjayi breath, which is that nice ocean-like sound in the back of your throat. It's very exaggerated. It's very calming. And it's something that will guide you through the rest of your practice. So take 1 more breath here. Engaging your ujjayi breath. Exhale out. Inhale, look up in between your hands. Sliver through. Once again, tops of the feet down. Lift up through your chest for Bhujangasana. Exhale, come back down. We're going to take something called an intimidated cobra. So you take the fingertips down, take the elbows up, press into the fingertips, and lift up through your chest. And look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, come back. Take your hands underneath of your shoulders, come back through hands and knees. And then this time, tuck your toes, and we're going to find our first downward-facing dog. So, not really stressing about the dog right now. We're at about 75%. So keep lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. Bend your knees just a little bit. Come up onto the balls of your toes and see if you can bend the knees a little bit more. Lift the hips back up. And keep that position and then start to straighten the legs. And as you start to straighten the legs, see if you can maybe start to descend the heels down towards the ground. So walk your feet to the bottom. There you go. Press into your index and your thumb finger. Take 2 more breaths. Take 1 more breath. And as you exhale, bend your knees, look up in between your hands. And let's just walk the first one all the way to the front, 1 step. Take your feet hip width distance apart, just heel toe apart. Grab opposite elbows and let the head fall down. So as you let the head fall down, bend the knees just slightly. Let the crown of the head fall to the floor. And maybe sway back and forth and just loosen up the spine just a little bit. And then release the arms and switch the grip of your elbows. Now with this class, I take a couple of liberties with music. So that means it's whatever is in my heart for the day. And today, it's bonobo. It's Wednesday night. We don't get too serious in this class. We're here to let go. It's midweek. stress is probably at peak right about now. So we're here to just drain that right out. So release the hands down and start to roll up one vertebra at a time. If you're not at the front of that, everybody's at the front of that. Good. So I'm basically back here, so we're not all in the same line. We're going to find Surya Namaskar. Inhale, raise the arms up, breathe in. Exhale, hinge at the hips. So all the way. Inhale, coming up halfway to a flat back. Exhale, bend your knees and step into downward facing dog to start off with. Good. So reach the hips up. Inhale, look up in between your hands. Bring the shoulders in line with the wrists, the heels press back. And as you exhale, you'll lower Chaturanga Dandasana all the way to the ground. Inhale, coming up, baby cobra. Lift through the chest, keep the back neck nice and soft. Good. Exhale, tuck your toes back through plank, downward facing dog. Lift the hips up higher, maybe at about 85% if you're downward facing dog. No big deal. 2 more breaths. Bring the belly button in towards the spine. See if you can lengthen the arms just a little bit more. 1 more breath. And as you exhale, bend your knees. Look up in between the hands. Step or lightly float your way to the front. Good. Nice and quiet. Beautiful. Inhale, coming up halfway to a flat back. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, root into the feet and take the reverse swan dive all the way up. Breathe in. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Release down, Tadasana. Inhale, raise the arms up. Look up in between the hands. Exhale, hinge at the hips and float all the way down. Inhale, coming up, Ardha Uttanasana, nice flat back. Breathe in. Exhale, fold all the way down. Step into downward facing dog. Press the heels back towards the orange ball back here. The crown of the head goes forward. Bring the shoulders in line with the wrists. Coming into plank. As you exhale, shoulders beyond the wrists and lower all the way down. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, coming up into baby cobra. Keep the neck nice and soft. Let that skin nice. Good. Exhale, come back down, come through plank, and lift all the way up into downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Press into your palms, especially into the index and thumb. Lift your hips. Yes. Now, see if you can just send the hips just or the heels just a little bit. There you go. Okay. Yeah. You get there, and then you're eventually going to work on getting this just a little straighter. Ooh, yes, look at that. Ooh, yeah. And on your exhale, bend your knees. Look up in between your hands. Step or lightly float. Inhale, come up halfway to a flat back. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, reach all the way up, coming up through reverse swan dive. Exhale, come back down into Tadasana. Adding on just a little bit, reach the arms up, breathe in. Exhale, coming into Utkatasana, bend the knees. Look up in between the hands. And as you exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, come up halfway to a flat back. Exhale, hands down, step or jump into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana all the way to the ground. We're still doing Bhujangasana, so spread through the collarbones. Lift through the chest, breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 1 breath here. Straighten your arms. Send those hips back. We're going to stay for 1 more breath, sorry. And then bring your feet together. You're going to keep the hips square to the ground, so that means you keep your foot square to the ground. Gently start to lift the right leg up, so the pinky toe is rooting down towards your mat. Good. And then just lift your heel just a little bit, and the leg will come up just slightly. Now, as you hold your foot up and have your leg in a new, slightly higher position, see if you can hold that leg higher as you descend your heel back down. And then Take one more breath here. Press through the sole of the foot. And as you exhale, keep the foot in between the hands. Drop the back knee down. We're going to come into crescent lunge. Reach the arms up. Look up in between the hands. Exhale. Frame the foot. Tuck the back toe. Low lunge. Take the left foot to meet the right foot. Inhale. Come up halfway to a flat back. Exhale. Fold all the way down. Root into the feet. Bend the knees. Take the arms up. Coming into Utkatasana once again. Breathe here. And as you exhale, fold back down. Inhale, coming up halfway to a flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down, step or jump into downward facing dog. And now we're going to get fancy. Inhale, come forward into plank. Your choice, you can come all the way down Chaturanga Dandasana or come halfway, which is about here, and then come into upward facing dog. Pull the chest through. And then roll back into downward facing dog. Yeah, there you go. 2 more breaths. And then bring the feet together. And same thing that we did, gently lift through the left leg. Press through the sole of the foot. Keep that pinky toe rounding down toward the mat. Extend out through the sole of the foot towards the orange ball, and then come up onto the ball of the right foot. Lift the heel. The left leg will come up just a little bit. Keep that lift, and then descend the heel back down towards the ground. 1 more breath here, good. And then exhale, take the foot in between the hands. Drop the back knee down, unfurl the toes, reach the arms up. Breathe in. Look up in between the hands. The hips go down, and the chest lifts. Keep the ribs nice and soft. Exhale, frame your foot, come into a low lunge. Take your right foot to meet your left foot. And fold all the way over. Inhale, coming up, Ardha Uttanasana, breathe in. Exhale, fold all the way down. Bend the knees, coming into Utkatasana, reach the arms up once again. You're going to find a little bit of a twist here. So bend the knees just a little bit, so bring the palms towards each other so you can get them to touch. Good, and then as you exhale, hinge at the hips and bring your arm to the right side over by your thighs. So we're here, and then you're just going to bend your elbows. I'm going to come around this way so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to bend your elbows so everything is reaching forward. The crown of the head is reaching forward. This tailbone reaches back. Bring the weight into the toes, and then just bring your prayer up to your shoulders first, and then press into your palms and open your twist so that your upper thoracic spine is twisting. And breathe. Good, very nice, guys. Breathe in. Exhale. 1 more breath. Exhale, release and come back up into Utkatasana. Reach the arms up. Exhale, fold all the way. Inhale, come up halfway to a flat back. Exhale, fold all the way. Bend the knees, reach the arms up, come into Utkatasana once again. Bend the knees nice and deep. Bring the hands together once again, and we're going to the other side this time. Take the arms down, and then bend at the elbows, bring the prayer up, and then press into the palms, and find your twist. The weight is slightly toward your toes. And just breathe here. Take 2 more breaths. Take 1 more. And gently release, come back up into Utkatasana, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, come up halfway to a flat back. Exhale, fold all the way down, and then just step into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Lead with the crown of the head, shoulders come in line with the wrist. Everybody come all the way down to the ground, Chaturanga Dandasana. Release the tops of the feet down. Spread through the collarbones. Lift the chest, Bhujangasana. Exhale, and then come back for hands and knees. And find child's pose. Balasana. Just finding a little comfort A little sukha after the shira. I don't believe you ladies are beginners. You listen and you're moving with it. It's great. Inhale, come back up through hands and knees. And we're going to tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look up in between the hands. Step and lightly float. Inhale, come up halfway to a flat back. Exhale, fold all the way. Inhale, take the arms out wide and high, reaching them up high to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Release down, Tadasana. So continuing with the twist. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, find Uttanasana once again. So we're going to find the twist in a different way this time. Building upon what we already know, bend the knees just a little bit more. Bring the weight into the right foot, step back with your left foot. Find a high lunge, reach up through the chest, and then either stay here or bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. You have options. You can either stay here or twist to the orange ball. You can stay here or drop your back knee and hook your elbow to the thigh. You can stay here or re-extend the back leg. All kinds of options. Yeah, good. Right? And when you do a little less, sometimes it opens up to do a little more. Take 2 more breaths. Release the shoulder just a little bit. Nice. And then exhale, release the twist and come back up into your high lunge. And then we're going to find a block. This way. Bring it to the inside of your foot. Your choice of either the second or the third height. This is the second height, this is the third height. But you can't go without. Everybody has to do it. So take it just slightly ahead of your foot, so that when you come down, you don't compress your shoulders. Take the left hand to the block. You're still up on the toes of the back foot. So set up well here. So take your right hand to your right thigh and just press that back. As you press that back, the left hip will come in line. And as it all comes in line, press through the back heel. As you press through the back heel, lift up through the back of the knee so that you get a nice hamstring stretch. And then press into the palm. And then as you're doing all that, rotate through the chest here, not through the bottom here. You want to open up, keep the belly button pointing down towards the ground as much as possible, and then rotate the chest up towards the ceiling. Take the right hand up. Stay here. And then maybe just turn your head and turn up towards the ceiling. Good. Keep the skin on the back of the neck. Just let that melt right off. 2 more breaths. And for the last breath, turn the palm down towards the ground. Reach fingertips towards the Sanskrit ball. So just sweep across your face. Get nice and long, and then frame your foot. And we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Woo! Yeah! The hamstrings sing to me. Yeah.
It burns.
It burns at the best thing possible. Or maybe not. It's up to you. Bend the knees, look up in between your hips, step or lightly float. Oh, that was such mindful. The block was there. She said, I will not touch you. I will float up. Inhale, come up halfway to your flat back. Exhale, float. Inhale, take the arms out wide and high, reaching them up high to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Release down to Tadasana. Coming into Uttanasana once again. Reach your arms up. Bend your knees, and we're going to find the same thing on the other side. So start to shift your weight into the left foot and coming back into your high lunge. Reach up through your chest, but descend the hips down towards the ground. Lift up just a little bit higher, and you can stay here, or bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart, or start to shift towards the window, and then hook your elbow if you're going for it. Press the palms together. Oh, yeah, oh, see, she beat me. Drop the back knee down, and then open up your chest. more breath. One more. Coming back up into center. Find your block once again. Bringing to the inside of the left foot. So whatever height you had it on the first side, if you had it on the second, do it on the second. If you had it on the third, do it on the third. Extend through the back leg. We'll take a break in just a moment, don't worry. Take a hand down and then reach up with your left hand. Find your twist through the upper thoracic spine. Spread through the collarbones. Continue to point the knee between the second and third toe. And then one more breath. And then turn your palm towards the floor, reach the fingertips towards the Sanskrit wall, come down, frame your foot, and just step back into downward facing dog.